I'm afraid you may buy me some crazy shit because
No, I wouldn't do.
no. Here's why: Brandon Aiyuk can't stop running his mouth. What the hell is going on with Brandon Aiyuk?
Oh, well, y'all sign him. I'm definitely sending you a jersey.
What the hell is going on with this dude? You know that this dude said if the 49ers cut him, I'll sign with Washington. In case if people don't know, he fired his agent back in November. And not only that, he's going on IG, social media. Did you see the video of him throwing the money?
I'm going to say this, if I could interject real quick and
Go
just
ahead.
go into it. He's going the Antonio Brown route, but he's only got like a fourth of the talent.
As Emmanuel Acho put it.
You know, and I hate to steal somebody else's thunder on that, and I have to give Emmanuel Acho, the great journalist that he is, New York Times bestseller, but I have to say, he's going the Antonio Brown TO route with a third of the talent, maybe even not even a fourth. And you got the bag. Thing is, those guys were doing stuff for contracts. You got the bag. You're in a perfect system. You just didn't do what the hell you were supposed to be doing. Only thing you had to do was show up to rehab meetings. That's all you had to do. That's all you had to do. And you chose not to go to rehab after you saw and lost $28 million. Let me say that again, because you did not go to rehab on time. You did not go to team meetings in order to rehab yourself. You lost $28 million in all of your guarantees on your contract. You are a brand new fool. That's just being real.
Dumbass.
And you can't go this route when you have an injury history and when you are in trouble with the law. What makes you think that Washington is going to bring you in? This is not the Dan Snyder days. If this were the Dan Snyder days and Jaden Daniels was
there was more than likely.
Yes, more likely than not, he'd be in Washington. But I don't know if Josh Harris and Magic Johnson are looking at Brandon Aiyuk and saying, hey, we're going to sign you to this major fat-ass contract to go alongside with Terry McLaurin and put you in a position in order to win. I just don't see it at this point. I don't see it. He's talking about the Commanders. If you were going to take this route, you never should have signed that contract because they gave you the bag. At first, it was about the contract. Then you got hurt. Now you're driving 100 miles per hour. They got a warrant for your arrest. Now, every other day, you're on IG. And you can make a damn fool out of the 49ers right now and get some of your guaranteed back just by showing up to training camp. That's the thing. He can make a fool out of everybody right now just by showing up to training camp. Just by saying, I'm here, and they got to pay him for showing up.
Well, I don't think he's going to show up because did you hear what George Kittle had to say about Brandon Aiyuk in case the teams actually take a shot at him? But my thing is, champ, why the hell would Washington take their chance with Brandon Aiyuk? The only reason why is because of Jaden Daniels. That's it. Y'all were good friends. Y'all were good boys at Arizona State. But nobody, if I'm Washington, I wouldn't even consider it. It's just an absolute waste of time. That dude, look, as Emmanuel Acho put it, he's doing the same shit like AB is doing, but he's not even the talent that AB is. Brandon Aiyuk, I don't understand why he tripping. You had a 4-year, $120 million contract you signed. You're making $30 million per year. Why are you complaining? You just signed the contract and you want the 49ers to cut you? The problem I also have with him, champ, is the people around him. They're allowing him to go on the air and say all this type of stuff. Somebody got to tell him, nah, stop. We're not going to allow you to go on social media and make a complete fool out of yourself. It's like every time words are coming out of his mouth, it's like he's blowing smoke out his ass. It's just embarrassing, champ. And my thing is with Washington, I really think with this new ownership, I'm really gonna take a shot with this dude, given that he's coming off an ACL injury and given how he's acting. I mean, there was the video of him going 100 miles per hour. Now there's a warrant for his arrest. Now with all these other issues going on, hell no. If I'm Washington, I'm not taking that chance.
No.
This dude is delusional.
The dude he's a couple of beers short of being a six-pack at this point, because I don't understand. And the difference between T.O. and Antonio Brown is they were trying to get the bag. They were trying to get more guaranteed money. That's how come T.O. was acting a fool in Philadelphia. That's how come Antonio Brown towards the end was acting a fool in Pittsburgh. It was about that money. But you got the money. And you squandered it. And there's no guarantee. Look, the thing is, with those two guys, you knew they was going to get a contract. With you might not get another $120 million contract. You may not. You may not. And you got to go somewhere else where another receiver is the number one guy, that being in Scary Terry. Yeah, you're going to be on a lot of prove-it deals.
And what happens if he joins Washington, champ? If, let's say, hypothetically speaking, if he joins Washington, if he decides to join Washington, do you actually think that do you think he's actually going to settle being the number two?
He could be in the number two because he was somewhat of a number
at this point, with his ego, with his attitude, do you really think at this point right now he's going to settle being the number two? No.
I don't think he is. And the thing is, he's going to go to Washington tripping, and that's going to be the end of that in Washington. He's going to be another Antonio Brown. But like I stated, it's just like those guys, I understand their grievances. They were trying to get their money. You had your money and you squandered it. $28 million. And you lost all of your guarantees. You had just signed a contract just last year, right before you got hurt. Only thing you had to do was show up the means and go to rehab. That was more than half the battle, and you couldn't even do that. And if you didn't want to be in San Francisco, which, hey, power to you if you don't want to be in the first class organization like San Francisco, playing up under Kyle Shanahan. If you didn't want to be there in the first place, why'd you sign the damn contract?
Because they were offering a hell of a lot more money than what any other team would offer him. Plus, not to mention, it is the Bay Area. That's a nice market. But my thing is, why are you tripping? You just got the money. And I don't want anyone to compare T.O. to Antonio Brown or Brandon Aiyuk. T.O., did he handle some things right, champ? No, obviously. But let's not compare T.O. to this. T.O. won this. I just think with Brandon Aiyuk, I don't know, what are you complaining for? You got your money. You 4-year, $120 million contract, $76 million guaranteed. And you're tripping. And how is what you're behaving? How is this helping you get other opportunities in the NFL?
Yeah.
The only reason why Antonio Brown was back on the NFL was because of Tom Brady. Hell, Tom Brady even allowed to come live with him at his place. As you always say, champ, hey, not only you can't stay inside my house, I won't even allow you to have a tent outside my house.
Exactly. You ain't gonna know what near my hut. But I'm gonna just be real, man. That Brandon Aiyuk is a prime example of why a lot of receivers get a bad rap, because you going out here acting a fool after you got in the bag. It's one thing when you acting a fool, acting out because, I deserve to be paid, I perform, I deserve to be paid. That's one thing when you're just kind of getting pissed off about your contract situation. But when you've received the bag and you still acting a fool, because if you can't handle yourself after you got, it's one thing when you ain't got the bag and you kind of handling it the wrong way. You've received the bag and squandered it. You've squandered it. You got the bag and squandered it. So how's that going to look? And how's that going to look for a team that brings you in? Because if you fail at that team, are you going to blame them too? That's long and short of it.
Shout out to Dwayne. He said, "Yeah, I've seen Antonio Brown act crazy yesterday." Oh yeah, remember the video of him going off on Zay Flowers? I don't get it. I don't understand it. I feel like you're making more money than your wildest dreams. You're playing in a big market. You're the number one target on the team when healthy. So why are you complaining? I could understand him not getting the money, but you already have it. Therefore, why do you feel like you're in the need to do all these things? Not only you're hurting your opportunity with the team, you're hurting your opportunity with any other team in the NFL because they're looking at you right now with the way you're behaving. Why the hell should we give you a chance to play on our team, let alone giving you this amount of money? So if I'm Magic Johnson, Josh Harris, hell no. Nah. If I'm Jaden Daniels, regardless of my relationship with Brandon Aiyuk, hell no.
You can't come here because you might because the thing
no, you're gonna jeopardize and you're gonna ruin this dude's confidence, and it's gonna become a distraction for the rest of the team. There's gonna be media members. They're gonna be asking a bunch of questions about what's going on with Jaden Daniels and Brandon Aiyuk. No, we don't need that. I think for Washington, I wouldn't waste my time trying to bring Brandon Aiyuk. If you bring him, then hey, that tells you that Washington still hasn't learned from their past, even after they've moved on from Snyder, which is a damn shame. Because if this were Dan Snyder, I expect dumb shit like that. He's one of those owners you really have to look at and cringe. Dan Snyder, I'm referring to. I'm sorry, Chip, but you look at him and you cringe. You're like, that's a dude. That's a dude you want to stay the hell away from. But
not to mention he was a CLB. You know what a CLB is, don't you?
I don't even want to know.
You remember what? You remember Jim Ross used to call Christian a CLB, the creepy little bastard. So not to mention he was a CLB to the fullest extent. So,
but the dude's a creep though.
Yeah, he was creepy.
But my thing is with Washington, no, they should not consider bringing in Brandon Aiyuk on the team. And besides, next year's wide receiver class, I mean, Jeremiah Smith, there's a bunch of other wide receivers and talent. They can look at other wide receivers in free agency. Last thing they need is somebody like Brandon Aiyuk on the team. Because how is he going to help the team? He's coming off a knee injury and he's behaving like this? Nah. And look, George Kittle already told you, hey, no, I'm paraphrasing, but know exactly what you're signing yourself up for by getting Brandon Aiyuk on the team. And again, this is coming from his teammate who's been around him on the offensive side of the football field. Doesn't that add some stock? So if I'm Washington, hell no. If I'm San Francisco,
get out. Get out.
Well,
get out
how you gonna cut him unless he gets involved with some crazy situation? And I don't think you can get any trade value with him at this point because nobody wants to touch him.
No, you're gonna have to cut him. You got it.
Sadly.